Isn't that great that that's the memory I have of that place, getting stitches on the ship? Not the best memory, but it certainly makes for fun stories. Happy Sunday, travel fans. I'm Morgan from the very unofficial travel guides, and today we're gonna talk about every cruise ship port I've ever been to. Welcome back. It is the middle of October here, and you know what? We are having some crazy weather. It's supposed to be 80 degrees this weekend. 80 degrees! What? I hope that you guys are having also amazing fall weather. I am not a fall kind of person. Fall and spring are two seasons that I really don't get along with very well. I get really depressed. I don't like it when, it gets dark so early and it's dark so late in the morning. You wake up and it's dark, you're coming home and it's dark. I need sunlight. I need brightness. I need that energy to keep me going, to keep me happy. And this has been an amazing fall so far. And I hope you're having an amazing fall as well. If you live in Florida, I hope that you're all right. I know Michael has been causing some problems there. So I hope that everybody's okay. Today, I wanted to talk about every cruise port I've ever been to. It's something that a couple people suggested. They asked me to make a list of best to worst or talk about my favorite cruise ports. And if you've been here for a while, you know that I'm really bad at picking favorites. There are very few things in the world that I can say this is my favorite or I think this is the best. So I'm just gonna sort of go through the list of all of them. I think I got all of them. And just say a couple little words maybe about some of the ones that really stick out in my head. And there's quite a bit. I really hope that this is the entire list. And if you've been around here for a while and you realize that I've forgotten one, then of course please let me know. Starting with every port I have embarked or disembarked in or on, which means any cruise ship port where I have begun a cruise or where I have ended the cruise. And the most obvious one is probably Miami. That's the one that we've done the most cruises that have started or ended from. The Miami cruise port is very modern. There are several different, what do you call it? Stations where you can board the ships. I think there's one for Carnival, there's one for Royal Caribbean, there's one for Disney, there's one for other ones. I don't know, do they share there? I know that Disney, in some ports, they have their own building, and Royal Caribbean as well. But I think in Miami, there's a building that several cruise lines share. The first place we've ever cruised from, and one of the places I think we've only cruised from once, is Port Canaveral. That's the Orlando cruise port. So if you fly to Orlando, you can get to the cruise port in an hour. I think it's an hour, 10 minutes maybe to get there. It's really quick. And that was where we got on the Monarch of the Seas, our very first cruise. And if it hadn't been for that cruise, I wouldn't be sitting here today talking about all these cruise ports. I have one bad memory about Port Canaveral, and I feel like that is the place where we've had the worst experience with the luggage handlers being, like hungry vultures coming to take your bags and with their hands stretched out, give me money. Give me money. And that was a really bad first impression, but you know what, I've kind of gotten used to that. You kind of see that just about everywhere. And it's not the cruise ship's fault. Those people work for the pier and not for the cruise lines. Fort Lauderdale, we've cruised out of there twice, right? Yeah. I cruised out of there once on the Harmony of the Seas. It was a cruise I did on my own, and Marcus and I cruised out of there on the Freedom of the Seas as well. Fort Lauderdale is, to me, I'm really excited about spending more time in Fort Lauderdale. Every time that we've cruised to Miami or that I've cruised from Miami or from South Florida, I've always stayed in Miami Beach for a few nights before or a few nights after. And after our last trip, we were just kind of we're kind of done with Miami Beach now. And a friend of mine lives in Fort Lauderdale. Hey, Carl. And so I think that the next time we cruise from Southern Florida, we're going to spend those few nights before or after in Fort Lauderdale and not in Miami Beach. Here in Europe, I've also cruised from here, my hometown, Hamburg. Super convenient. I mean, well, there are 3 cruise ports here now, and one of them is not really being used very much anymore, and unfortunately that was the one that was really easy to get to. We could walk out of our house, walk 3 streets to the U-Bahn, and then take the U-Bahn 2 stops, and then we were there in front of the ship. Really simple. But now they made a new, very big, modern one, and that's kind of that's not easy to get to. It's in a very annoying place, and you have to either take a cab or book a shuttle bus Yeah, I preferred the one that was right here in the city, but like I said, they're not really using that one anymore, unfortunately. And the other one that's in the city is still used sometimes. Have we cruised from that one as well? Yeah, we've cruised from both. So anyways, there's 3 cruise ports here, and if you ever are going to be cruising to or from Hamburg, please get in touch because I can tell you all sorts of great things to do here in my lovely city. On one cruise that we did that left from Hamburg, we disembarked in Kiel, which is a city up in northern Germany, up on the Baltic Sea, and yeah, don't have much to say about Kiel. We weren't there for very long. We just got off the ship, went to the train station, and took the train home. Also, taken a couple cruises that have started or left from in Italy. Also, the one time that I boarded a cruise after the cruise officially started, I made a video about that. You can see it. It's in my Storytime videos. Was from Messina, which is actually Sicily. You know, this island off the coast of Italy, so I've also cruised from there as well. And then, of course, Barcelona. We have never boarded a cruise in Barcelona, but I have taken cruises, or we have taken cruises that ended in Barcelona, including our transatlantic cruise on the Norwegian Epic. And there's a lot of really fun, popular videos from there, including the video about the Cone Lady, including that last day rant where I was hung over on my balcony at like 6:30 in the morning and complaining about having to get off the ship so early. All right, the next category I want to talk about is cruise destinations like between Florida and South America and that whole area down there in the Caribbean, in the Bahamas, all that. And gotta, of course, start with Nassau. Almost every cruise that leaves from South Florida stops at Nassau, and I think there's 2 great things to do in Nassau. One of them is stay on the ship, and the other one is if you have a big budget, go to Atlantis and go to the amazing water park. I've also been to St. Martin, which is, I get St. Martin and St. Thomas confused. Which is the one with Magen's Bay where I sliced my foot open on the Harmony of the Seas and had to get stitches. One of them is that. So isn't that great that that's the memory I have of that place, getting stitches on the ship? Not the best memory, but it certainly makes for fun stories. Then St. Kitts, Tortola, Labadee, which is where they have this, that's like Royal Caribbean's private section of Haiti, and they have this amazing, totally thrilling, kind of petrifying zip line, so you can look for that also in my library. Also been to San Juan before the big hurricanes. I mean, all the Virgin Islands and San Juan, they were really hit hard by that recent storm, and I don't know what they're like now, but I would love to go back to all of these destinations, especially the Virgin Islands. Then also Ocho Rios, where we did the tubing, where it was really good that my mom didn't come with, and of course Coco Key, which is, you know, one of my most famous videos on the internet. It is the most clicked video of that cruise destination of any video on the entire internet, and that makes me feel really special. And someday I have to go back there, especially now that they're building this gigantic water park. All right, moving on to Europe and the Mediterranean and other sort of exotic destinations. We've done 2 or 3 or 4 cruises around here on this side of the globe, and some of the places we've stopped are Amsterdam, Copenhagen, Geiringer, which is, you know, where these amazing fjords are. That was one of the most surprising cruise destinations I've ever been to, if we want to talk about like highlights. This was a cruise, it was sort of like a nature sightseeing cruise, which is not really necessarily, you know, one of the most important things to Marcus and I when we go on vacation, but we were totally blown away by cruising to Geiringer. And if it's something that sort of interests you, I can only tell you, you definitely need to do it. It will blow you away. It's something you can't describe how amazing it is unless you're actually there and seeing it. So do it. If you want to do it, do it. Then we've also been to Stavanger and Aalesund and Oslo. In Oslo, I remember I met my friend there, and he took us to this park with all these huge sculptures of naked people. So look for that video in my library as well, if you're into sculptures of naked people. Then moving down to some warmer places, Naples, Italy, which is of course where you can go to Pompeii, and Pompeii is fascinating. Then we've been to some Greek islands, Corfu and and Crete. Crete is where I did a story time about how this person almost died on the bus next to me. So that's in my story time video playlist as well. Palma de Mallorca, Athens, Greece, Kusadasi, which is in Turkey, which is where we got stuck in that crazy storm. And then we also went to a real Turkish hammam bath and got scrubbed with a sponge that they used for like 10 other people before us, and it was kind of gross. Cannes, France, which is where the amazing film festival is. Funchal, which is Madeira, which is an island off the coast of Portugal, and that was like the one place we stopped on our transatlantic cruise. So we boarded the ship in Miami. Yeah, the Norwegian Epic, we boarded in Miami, and then I think we had 8 sea days. And then we were one day on Madeira and took this big like cable car up to the top of the mountain, which was really cool. And then we got back on the ship, and then I think we had 2 more, 8, 9, 10, 11, no, we had like 3 more sea days until we ended up in Barcelona. That was a crazy experience. Then, in case, I think I'm not forgetting anything, there's only 2 more destinations I can think of, and those are in Jerusalem, which was a totally wild, crazy, different experience. That was on our longest cruise, our 14-day Mediterranean cruise, and then we stopped at Haifa and Ashdod and got to visit Bethlehem and Jerusalem, and I made, of course, this controversial, or this, no, I guess I wouldn't call it controversial. I made an interesting video about how I feel like God spoke to me while I was in Jerusalem. So that's in my Storytime playlist as well. Check that out if that's something that you think you want to hear about. And you should. I thought that was going to be a really short video. I thought, oh my gosh, what am I going to talk about? I'm just going to go through this list, but I see I've already been talking for like, 13 minutes, so not bad. What are some of your favorite cruise destinations? Like I said, I'm really bad at picking favorites because there's like certain things that I really like about some of them, and then there's other ones that are just sort of, I don't know, not very memorable to me. But that doesn't mean that, I don't like them, because as many people have said, there's a lot of internet memes that say, a boring day on a cruise ship is still better than a normal day at home, right? So I can't say, that I wouldn't like to be on a cruise to like Alisund again. I don't really remember much of Alisund, but you know what? If I was on a cruise there, I would still rather be doing that than sitting here, right? But anyways, if you have like some cruise destinations, like some places that you think you really, really want to go to, or some places that you think that after hearing this list that I haven't been to that you think I definitely should go to, or that you want me to go to tell you about, then just write it in the comments below. I love reading that kind of stuff, and it really does influence me. It helps me consider what I'm going to do next, or when other people write to me to ask for information, it helps me, be like more informed. And now comes the time on Sunday Sofa Time, where I comment on your comments live on air. In last week's Sunday Sofa Time, I introduced and unboxed some of my new merchandise. So I started just sort of on a whim, and because a lot of people were asking about it, I started making some t-shirts and towels and tote bags and stuff. You can see one of them right here. This is the Very Unofficial Travel Guides towel with the cone lady here, or, sort of my secret symbol for her. And so you can go to teespring.com/stores/very-unofficial-travel-guides, or there's a link in the description below or on my Facebook page for the Very Unofficial Travel Guides. And check out the stuff. There's also a Washi Washi Happy Happy t-shirt, and these comments are related to that kind of stuff. So this one, I really, really like this. This is from Mariana Kump. Mariana is one of my most loyal followers. Mariana, I'm so happy you're here. I feel like I know you. I feel like we're friends, even though I've never met you. I don't even really know what you look like. And I hope we get to meet each other someday. Anyways, Mariana writes, "Hi Morgan, I want you to know that I love the cone theme so much, I bought one of each item." Thank you so much. "I just came home from the President's Cruise on Harmony of the Seas, where I wore the ladies' t-shirt. I was in the solarium when a guy walked up to me and went into the whole cone routine, LOL. We sat at the bar talking about your videos, and I think we got several people interested in checking it out. It was a lot of fun connecting with people while supporting the Very Unofficial Travel Guides." Oh, that makes me so happy. That's one of the cool things that I hope that happens a lot more when you guys get your shirts. I know there's quite a few people, well, I mean, people have been ordering the shirts, and that makes me happy because I hope that more and more of you will wear them on your cruises or wear them to Disney or wherever, and that it will help you meet other like-minded people. And then, you know, by wearing the stuff and having the, you know, the cone lady and stuff like that, you sort of have like an automatic icebreaker. So if more of this stuff is happening to you, please let me know. It makes me so happy. Siberia 4A writes, I bet the towel would sell more if the picture on it was you in a Speedo. Siberia, behave. Eek, a mouse writes, OMG, I started your video expecting an ad, so I took a sip of coffee, but had to spit it out when the video started with, a cone, I want it in a cone. LMAO. Yes, Ika Mouse, I'm so sorry. I wrote to you already. I'm sorry that you had to waste a sip of coffee because of me, but you wrote back saying that it's all right. You like laughing more than coffee, so great attitude. All right, everybody, thanks for hanging out with me this Sunday afternoon, and like I said, I hope you're having as amazing weather as we are. Go out and enjoy it. Have some fun. Plan some travel for some sunny place because it's gonna be winter soon. There's no way this is gonna last much longer. Let me know what you're up to. Let me know if you need any help or advice, if you want me to help you decide to do this or that. I love sort of going through that process with you. And I'll see you back here next week in front of the red sofa. Bye-bye!